Hi guys, so if you haven't watched the other videos, I told you guys that and if you haven't read the post on the community post, I told you guys that I'm going to be delivering a lot of messages today because I've been up all hours of the night, waking up out of my sleep, writing things down. God has been speaking to me audibly, consistently for the last couple of days. Like, he speaks to me every night, but he'll say a word here and there, but he's been talking consistently in sentences and showing me visions of like his hand, his robe, doing certain things to show me the importance of the words that I'm delivering today. So I posted a word, and the word today was the birth of prophet sons. Okay, and I went into details in that video, so check that video out if you want to know what I'm talking about. But I want to say this in this video. God mentioned that this is not a word for everybody. This is a word for some people. The children that you're going to be birthing, a lot of your children are going to be going up against the masses, but the children that you are birthing are meant to help with the kingdom of God, whether they're apostles, prophets, whatever their purpose is. In that specific video I just posted earlier today, I talked about the sons, but in this video I'm talking about any child that God has called. They're going to be going up against the masses. Even many of you guys who are prophets, you guys, and your purpose is ministry. Your purpose is, you may be a prophet of the nations like Jeremiah. You are going to be going up against the masses like Jeremiah. Okay, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be many things that God is going to tell you, and God is going to show you that's not going to be the same as other people who say they're also prophets or prophetesses or apostles or pastors. Okay, when God has specific prophets going up against the masses, these individuals are going to operate through majority of the gifts or all the gifts. Okay, as in, God is going to be able to confirm to them very detailed things, and they're going to receive the confirmation to where they're not confused, to where they know what's going on, and to where they know God's voice, but they're not only just hearing God's voice, but they're seeing visions and specific dreams as confirmations as well, compared to like some people who are just running off of a dream or running off of a vision, because not everyone has the understanding that dreams could be manipulated, visions could be manipulated, the enemy can twist things, make things look like what it's not. And when people just run with certain things that they see or they hear, right, without confirming, right, that's oftentimes what can lead to destruction, and that's what the enemy wants. That's what Satan wants. You have to understand that the devil knows that there's people out here that have gifts, that dream, that see visions, that can hear things, and the enemy understands that that's their way of receiving messages from God as well. But the enemy also knows that that's another way of how he can enter and trick them into revealing or saying the wrong things in order to make them look foolish, or in order to kind of cause chaos in the community, okay, and in the churches, okay. And like I tell you guys all the time, just because you're gifted does not mean that you're a chosen, or does not mean that God has appointed you. There's many people who are evil who have gifts as well, who use their gifts for evil, and they will cause chaos and corruption, and a lot of them are also in the churches. Okay, so I just want to say this particular message to those it's for. God is gonna have some of you guys coming up against the masses, as in, like, he is gonna confirm things to you where you know it's him, his voice, like visions, etc., but he's gonna confirm it. And when you know that it's him confirming it, you are going to release this information, whether it's in a church, whether it's online, whether it's publicly, however way he tells you to release it. And you're going to be coming up against the masses, because you're going to be saying things that a lot of people are not saying. You're going to be, describing things that a lot of people are not describing. And coming up against the masses means that there's going to be a group of people, a bunch of people that are agreeing with something, and you're going to come in with a whole different perspective, and they're going to want to fight you. They're going to want to aim arrows at you. They may call you names, they're gonna persecute you, and they're gonna call you false. And God said himself that, you know, not everyone's going to love you, okay? Not everyone's gonna love you. I always tell you guys, you'll also know like who's legit, because you'll see a lot of people going after them, a lot of God's people going after them. That's when you know that they're legit, when you have a mass of people coming up against you, similar to Jeremiah, okay? So I'm just preparing you guys for this, because this is the year. And what will happen is, you know, I'm going to give you an example of this. So an example of this is, you know, that the election that happened, where many people, a group of people in the churches, a lot of people in the churches were talking about the elections, and like, you know, God showing them that Trump was going to win. God showing that. Like a bunch of people were saying it, a bunch of people. They even had a movie out about it. But there was like a mass of people saying that. But God had some prophets come up against the masses where they said, nope, God showed me different. God showed me that this person was going to win the election. And there was not a lot of people that saw the correct visions. There was like 4 or 5 people that saw it. But these prophets that saw it, a lot of them were persecuted and arrows were aimed at them. They were called names. But then the truth came out who won it. And when the truth came out as to who won the election, it's almost like everybody forgot what they did. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say coming up against the masses. Like, just because God shows you something does not mean that you agree with it. It's just what's going to happen. That's God's outcome of the situation. So you have no choice but to agree with it, because that's what he said is the outcome, right? So if God says right now that there's going to be a flood that comes upon the land, that does not mean that you agree with it, that you want there to be a flood. It just means that regardless, you have to say what's going to happen, and that's the decision that God made, and you have to be the one to voice it. It does not mean you agree and want it to happen, right? So whatever God's will is God's will, right? So, you know, I'm just going to say, like, many of you guys are going to come up against the masses, and the way how it's all going to be resolved is the outcome, you know? So you're going to be saying things that are going up against a mass of people, and there's going to be a lot of persecution and tribulation because of it, and you will be rejected, and you will be hated, and you will be talked badly about, and you'll be put down. It's going to be difficult. But how it's going to be resolved is God is going to use the foolish things of this world to shame the wise, and God is going to allow it to come to pass, and that is how it's going to stop what's going on, as in, like, that's what's going to stop the persecution and stuff like that, right? So I just want to tell those of you guys who received the same word, I'm just giving you confirmation. And some of you guys, it's going to be your children in their calling as well. But there is going to be deliverance, and God is going to use the foolish things of this world to shame the wise. A lot of people are going to be shocked when they see that what they thought was really wasn't. People are going to realize, like, the illusion's going to be removed from people's eyes, and they're going to see the truth. And it's going to be very shocking. It's going to be very shocking. Okay, so I just want to give you guys this confirmation. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.